More and more strikes we see, and more and more tensions between workers and employers. Now, how to find a balance where both workers and employees work as a team and see and have the same objective?
As an ordinary worker, workers' basic rights had been at the forefront of Walensa's fight against suppression and unfair treatment. Here in Indonesia, labor issues have never been easy to solve. The birth of democracy in this country and the freedom for workers to associate saw the emergence of various labor unions. This creates its own problems, however, as solidarity amongst trade unions is made complicated, with many unions and interests at stake, and with worker objectives often at odds with employers, often creating a climate of conflict. Issues such as wage, working conditions, outsourcing and termination are often the causes as companies struggle with costs, competition and challenging business climates. From the streets of Jakarta to the streets in Europe, the sight is often similar and the methods the same, that is, taking their grievances to the streets. Similarly, in many parts of the world, especially in times of economic crisis and globalization, workers often resort to strikes and protests as employers are seen as not fulfilling their obligations or treating employees fairly.
Workers often use strikes when they feel that dialogues are no longer effective tools of negotiations. But how effective are strikes in solving labor disputes? Well, for many of us not in their position, strikes often seem like an inconvenience. However, this situation is likely to continue for as long as employers and workers do not share the same objectives, refuse to carry their burden together, or rely on one another to solve their problems. Okay, one, of course, effect of the global financial crisis is rising unemployment, tensions between workers and employees. We see strikes in Europe, and there are also strikes in Indonesia. Now, there seems to be always conflicts between laborers and employers. How do you see this situation? What is the best way of addressing it?
Do końca XX wieku to się troszeczkę...
I think things developed quite differently towards the end of 20th century.
Do końca XX wieku
Until the end of 20th century, each country wanted to be more powerful than its neighbors so as to prevent the neighbor attacking us.